Good morning and welcome to Cold Bear Sports, your hardest working tipping service on the planet. Right, Sunday morning, no issues. Up, let's get this bread. Right, lovely to have the big winner yesterday, obviously on the Patreon service, 2 points each way on the 10-1 Botox has. I have found an extra selection I want to put out today. Definitely interesting. I have two gone out already, and that video is up on YouTube. It's also been posted here. One was, they're both in Punchestown. Check that video out as well. But I do want to touch on today's selection. But before I do that, I just want to touch on last night. Last night I did a live, just kind of a little bit annoyed with all the stick Ascot racecourse got. I thought it was uncalled for. We seen some great racing there on the day one on Friday. I thought it was very interesting. Some really nice horses kicking off to meet them, with Crambo winning and a couple of other horses on the card being impressive. Thunder Rock, a horse I tipped up as well. I thought he was just a real interesting runner. Produced a beautiful performance. And Nicky Henderson's horse as well, Persian Time or Persian something, who won the first day, I thought was a blistering winner of the hurdle race. And then to go from that to all of a sudden the day after, fair enough, we understand when horses don't want to run on good ground, or if trainers have horses that, fair enough, we think, right, we'll keep this lad for a bit of juice in the ground. Absolutely, 100%. But to turn around and paint an angle that Ascot was unsafe yesterday was just absolutely bananas. Like, at the end of the day, yes, did the ground dry out? Absolutely. Was it good ground? Yes, it was. Was it unsafe? Absolutely not. So I think it was very unfair to Ascot Racecourse for Nico de Bonville and Nicky Henderson to kind of paint the picture that the ground was rock hard and all this underneath and it was only an inch. That's not true. The likes of Goshen and the Times will tell you that as well. The likes of Goshen and them wouldn't let themselves down. Like, Goshen put in a great performance, probably a career best. He beat a very good horse by 2 or 3 lengths, probably going away, never going to be caught. What else was on the card? That was impressive yesterday. Like Boot Hill, a fine big galloping horse, getting it done. But anyway, I do have a selection today. I don't want to be going into too much about it. But I just thought it was unfair. You could have just said, look, we're not running the horse, we're waiting for softer ground. Instead of like throwing Ascot under the bus. Like, the only thing that was wrong in Ascot yesterday is that they had good ground. That's it. There was nothing else to it. Like, the ground dried out to being good. There was rain all over the country. Obviously didn't get to Ascot. What can they do? I'm just here to say, like, a picture was painted in the media and to the general punter and the general audience is that the reason none of the horses were running is because it was very unsafe. And, horses... I don't think it was unsafe at all. It's one of the most beautiful race courses in the world. The last probably mile and a quarter is all uphill. You know what I mean? Is it a brutal stiff track that could put your horse back? Yes. I always advise anybody never to start your horse off in Ascot unless you have no plans for at least 6 weeks after it. Starting back in the season, because it's just a brutal stiff track. You know what I mean? It's designed for stamina, and you see how many times the result changes up the straight. But to say that the ground was very unsafe yesterday, I would highly doubt it when you have horses with all their best form on soft ground. And even the mare belonged to Anthony Honeyball, Cockerick, or I can't remember her name, put in a brilliant performance. All her best form on soft and heavy ground. So yeah, it was a picture that was painted. I didn't like it. And fair enough, absolutely, there's horses that don't want to run on good ground. But come out and say that, look, we came here we thought we were going to run, but we don't want to run on good ground. And we'll wait for soft ground. Don't be, coming out saying it's unsafe, it's rock hard underneath and all this. You know what I mean? I can guarantee you one thing. You wouldn't have seen the big horses put in the performances they did. And especially even the day before. The likes of Crambo winning his bumper on soft and heavy, putting in a lovely performance over hurdles. Even Nicky's own horse starting over hurdles was beautiful. Thunder Rock let himself down, jumped like a buck up the straight, galloped through the line. These are horses with form on soft and heavy ground. Yes, did it go from a lovely racing ground Friday to unsafe rock hard ground Saturday? Absolutely not. It's a terrible picture to be painting for one of the greatest race courses on the planet. And I just thought I'd give my 2 cents. on it. Yes, absolutely. If a trainer isn't happy and you don't want to run on good ground, that's 100%. We understand that there's many horses that you wouldn't run, that you don't want to run on good ground. But come out and say that, look, we're waiting for soft. Just the ground dried out for us today, not for us. We'll be back soon. Don't be coming out blaming a race course and, saying it's unsafe ground. This is fucking Ascot, lads. This isn't, you know what I mean? This isn't a backyard fucking, field in the back arse of nowhere. Right, anyway, on to today. A horse that could be very well handicapped in the 335 at Exeter. A horse called Hartour Dudaries, or one of them anyway. Doors, the French ones. You'll see it skeleton for skeleton. JP McManus owns, completely unexposed. Mark of 117 could be well light for this lad. Was an impressive winner at Warwick. Then just things didn't go to plan in Cheltenham. Forgive that. Harry Skelton goes to ride this. They have a nice mare running in Uttoxeter. He passes her up. She won a bumper in Huntington and she finished 5th in entry. And I think the reason Skelton's going here is because this one must be very well handicapped, maybe stepped up this year and could be working really well, because the other one is 6-4 favourite. So I get the feeling this lad could be chucked in, lads, if he steps up. So we'll go a point win. He is risky because he did blow out on his last run, but that was, a lot of time to recover. All right, enjoy the day. Keep following Cold Bear Sports. And as always, the hardest working tipping service in the business. Sunday morning, we're out early finding winners. We have a couple now to go out on the Patreon service as well. Lovely to smash them with a big winner yesterday. Keep following Cold Bear Sports.